Hi, Revenge Porn Helpline, Emma speaking.
People do pay though. I mean, and in some cases, how much?
I've supported a client in the past who paid £30,000. I think that's the most I've ever seen working at the helpline. £30,000.
For the first time, cameras have been allowed inside the Revenge Porn Helpline.
People are really scared and can often feel sort of quite embarrassed and humiliated and violated by what's happened.
A team on the front line of a growing crime.
Over time, we keep searching, and we're finding more and more links up until, 5,000-6,000 links across the internet.
They are the first call for many victims.
I remember being frantic and, pleading with him. Please delete it.
Dealing directly with the world's biggest online platforms.
Facebook, X, Snapchat, and now the adult sites.
This is the story of how a small group in Devon has ended up at the forefront of tackling revenge porn.
So we're on our way to meet a small group of women who over the last 8 years have helped to remove around 300,000 intimate photos and videos online, what we know as revenge porn. Every day they are in contact with the world's biggest social media platforms and adult content sites. They're world leaders in what they're doing, and it's all happening from a small office here in South Devon.
From the outside, no one would know what's happening in here.
So this is the Revenge Porn Helpline. This is where the work happens.
But inside, this team is dealing with thousands of intimate images. They're helping terrified victims whose pictures and videos are online against their will.
Usually people that call us are very, very upset. They are very anxious if their content has already been shared or they think that they're in danger of it being shared imminently. That's an extremely distressing thing.
I think from what you've described, you've been a victim of a very common type of online crime known as sextortion. And then when they have that content, their behaviour very quickly changes and they start bombarding you with these quite terrifying messages. Usually begins with the line, I'm going to ruin your life, or I'm going to make this content go viral. Is that all sounding quite, yeah, okay.
The helpline, funded by the Home Office, was set up in 2015 when revenge porn was first made a crime. The team receives hundreds of calls every week.
A typical phrase would be like, I shouldn't have sent them the content, I shouldn't have done that, it's my fault, I should have known better. And I get quite passionate personally, and I think the rest of the helpline team do, about kind of cutting off that negative kind of energy, I suppose, and reminding them that it isn't their fault.
The number of victims they're helping is on the rise. Exclusive figures for Sky News show that in the first 9 months of this year, the Revenge Porn Helpline received more than 3,250 phone calls. That's an increase of 31% on the same period last year. If you include online reports to the helpline, there have been more than 10,000 people contacting them. That's already 13% higher than last year's total. Intimate images are often used as a digital weapon by ex-partners or scammers. The cases they deal with at the helpline can be just one video, or if it spreads, far bigger.
Some of the cases we have are sort of really huge, and there are sort of thousands and thousands of images shared, unfortunately. But yeah, I think once the content's shared, it can be sort of reshared very quickly by kind of other online users, which does make it more difficult.
Once a victim calls, the work to take down the images starts straight away.
They just want it down, you're right. But ultimately, if they want that content removed, we'll work as quickly as we can. We can't promise 100% removal rate, although, we do try our best. We're a group of very motivated women, so we try our hardest to do that.
The team are known as trusted flaggers by social networks and adult sites, and for significant cases, they can pick up the phone to raise the alarm.
From the Sky News Centre at 6, a former Celebrity Big Brother winner has been sentenced to 21 months in prison for sharing an explicit video of his ex-girlfriend. Stephen Bear posted the video without her permission.
There have been high-profile victims, such as Love Island star Georgia Harrison, but the vast majority are out of the limelight. Bryony's ex-partner filmed her in the shower before threatening to share the videos.
I screamed. I was terrified. I jumped out as quick as I could. I got ready as quick as I could, and I was frantically asking him to please delete it.
The ordeal has left her vulnerable.
It's horrible in any way, and any situation. Women are taking photos or videos and they're trusting someone else with these ones. And the other person will completely violate that trust. And there's zero respect for the other person. My body is my own body, and it wasn't up to him. It wasn't his choice to decide who else sees it.
Bryony still lives with the threat that the images will come out. But for others, it's too late.
I lost my privacy in a click of a finger. With one direct message on Instagram, I lost that, and to me, my privacy is something I'll never, ever, ever get back.
Former professional footballer Lee Nicol had intimate images of her and an ex-partner uploaded to an adult site.
That was a night from hell, to be honest. I didn't sleep. I was being sick. I was waiting for the police to turn up in the morning.
For Lee, videos she'd long forgotten about were now all over the tabloids.
Honestly, it was just, I want to die. Don't want to deal with this. Don't want to have to phone my mum. Don't want to have to phone my brother. Don't want to have to speak to my friends. Don't want to have to give up football. Don't want to lose my job.
4 years on, and Lee is still dealing with what happened. She now gives talks to professional sports teams about the risks of sharing content.
We do live in a world where that is completely normal. It's a huge part of relationships. It's a huge part of dating lives. It's a whole huge part of the online world that we now live in. But if you have done it, that's okay. It's about putting things in place to make sure that your devices is so secure. It's changed my life. In many cases, it's made me a better person. But I've got scars that people will never see.
With so many now sharing sexual images with partners, the risk grows. How many images and videos have you had to look at?
Oh, God. I don't know. If I'm honest, I wouldn't be able to give you a number off the top of my head. Yeah, thousands. I mean, that could just be one client as well.
Having to view so much can take its toll.
I don't want to say you get desensitised to it, because I don't think you do, but you do just, you know, you're being professional, and you know that that's the job and that's what needs to happen. So it's, you know, you find a way to sort of separate that.
To help, the call handlers have a dedicated counselling service.
They are, as a general rule, really good at putting on a show of how well they're doing. And they will come to sessions generally being quite upbeat. It's not unusual for the sessions to end up with the helpline worker in tears.
David meets with each staff member at the helpline at least once a month.
I don't think it would be going too far to say that at times there is scope for the workers being traumatised by what they've viewed or what they've been witness to.
Dealing with such explicit images every day is something helpline manager Sophie is acutely aware of.
I'd be a liar if I said this was an easy job to do for me and for the team, but I think the important thing is that we're making things better for people.
With more and more victims seeking help, police are making more arrests. When revenge porn first became a crime in 2015, 206 charges were brought by the Crown Prosecution Service. 8 years on, that number has risen to 631, up 206%. But that is likely the tip of the iceberg, with many cases going unreported.
From the Sky News Centre at 4, prosecutors will no longer need to prove criminals intended to cause distress when sharing so-called revenge porn material in a tightening of the laws.
The government's new Online Safety Act will toughen laws around revenge porn. Criminals who share images with intent to cause distress could be jailed for up to 2 years, while social media firms who don't comply could face fines of up to £18 million. Baroness Nikki Morgan worked on the bill.
The Online Safety Act is going to be groundbreaking. It's interesting that a number of countries are very much watching the UK, the new regulator, how they are going to obviously police and enforce all of this. I think Ofcom will have the teeth. I think the issue is going to be about whether having the threat of significant fines is enough to change the way the platforms and search engines police their content online.
The laws will be flexible as AI and deepfake revenge porn becomes a growing problem. They're already getting cases of it at the helpline. It makes the world-leading work that they do here even more vital.
It is a regular surprise to the people here that we sit in this little business park near the M5 in Devon, but we have this engagement with governments around the world. I've had calls with people sitting in the White House and thought, how exactly has this happened? But it's happened because the UK have in fact been at the front of this conversation as a country, as a government, and culturally.
For the call handlers, getting people's most sensitive photos and videos off the internet makes the job worthwhile.
It is really rewarding work, and you do feel like you are really helping people and hopefully making sort of a huge difference to people's kind of mental health and their lives, really.
It's the best feeling ever, honestly. It's amazing, and I think the best thing of all is being able to tell that client, especially if it's in a fast period of time. The quicker we get the content removed, the less likely it is to be shared, like across the internet. But that's what we're here for ultimately. So that win is kind of, yeah, this is why we're doing what we do, and this is why we love doing what we do for these people.